You are not tired because life is hard. You are tired because your mind never stops lying to you. Every day you promise change, and every night you forgive yourself for staying the same. Speaks every day, not with noise, but with repetition. It tells you to wait. It tells you that you are tired. It tells you that tomorrow will be better. And slowly, you begin to believe it. The mind can protect you, but it can also trap you. And the dangerous part is, it feels safe while it is happening. There was a young man named Aaron. He was not special. He was not broken. He was just like many others. Quiet, thoughtful, full of dreams he rarely talked about. Aaron believed he had potential, but potential is heavy because it demands action, and action demands courage. Every morning Aaron woke up with plans. Simple plans. Study, work, improve, change. But every morning something happened. His body woke up. His mind resisted. He felt tired without effort, drained without movement, as if his thoughts had already lived the day. Aaron would sit on his bed, looking at nothing, feeling everything. He told himself it was normal. Everyone feels like this. Everyone struggles. But deep inside, a quiet fear lived. The fear that he was wasting his life. He picked up his phone, not for joy, but for escape. Minutes passed, then hours. Scrolling became breathing. Distraction became comfort. The mind whispered again, you needed rest. You deserved a break. Aaron listened, because listening was easier than facing silence. Silence asked questions. Questions he did not want to answer. Why are you afraid? Why do you delay? Why do you run from yourself? So Aaron stayed busy doing nothing. Days moved forward. Aaron did not. He watched others grow, others succeed, others change, and he smiled. But inside, he shrank. At night, when the world became quiet, his mind became loud, thoughts attacked, memories replayed, regret knocked. He told himself tomorrow he would start. Tomorrow he would be different. The mind liked that word, tomorrow, because tomorrow never asks for action. Tomorrow never demands proof. Aaron slept with promises and woke up with excuses. Weeks turned into months, months turned into years. He could feel time passing, like sand through fingers, impossible to stop. Sometimes he imagined a different life, a disciplined life, a focused life, a life where he trusted himself. But imagination stayed imagination. The gap between who he was and who he could be started to hurt. Pain does not always scream. Sometimes it sits quietly, waiting. Aaron felt that pain while walking, while eating, while laughing with others. A constant pressure, a constant reminder. One evening Aaron walked without direction. No phone. No music. Just footsteps. The sky was calm. The air was soft. He stopped in front of an old bookstore. He had passed it many times, but never entered. Something pulled him inside. The smell of old pages filled the air. The silence was heavy, honest. Aaron felt uncomfortable because there was nothing to escape into. On a small wooden table, a book lay open. He did not plan to read it. But his eyes stopped. One sentence stood alone. The truth you avoid controls you. Aaron froze. His chest tightened, not from fear, but recognition. That sentence did not attack him, it exposed him. For the first time, he did not look away. His mind tried to speak, tried to explain, tried to justify, but another voice appeared. Clear. You are not lazy. You are afraid. The words landed softly, but deeply. Aaron felt something crack. Not pain, protection. The protection his mind built to keep him comfortable. He stood still, letting the truth breathe. Fear was not weakness. Avoidance was. The mind had not been lying to hurt him. It was lying to keep him safe. But safety had become a prison. That night Aaron did not scroll. He did not distract himself. He sat with silence. The silence was loud, but honest. He picked up a pen and a blank page. His hand shook, not from weakness, but from honesty. He wrote slowly, I am afraid of failing. I am afraid of discipline. I am afraid of seeing my limits. I am afraid of seeing my strength. The page filled, and with every line, the weight lifted. Facing the truth did not destroy him. It grounded him. Aaron realized something simple, but powerful. Discipline is not force. It is alignment. Clarity is not pressure. It is relief. The mind resists not because it hates work, but because it fears responsibility. Responsibility means choice, and choice means no excuses. That night Aaron slept differently. Not motivated, not inspired, just honest. And honesty was enough to be born weak. He was taught to doubt himself slowly. Every morning he woke up with plans, and every night he slept with excuses. Days passed, weeks passed, years passed. People around him moved forward. Some failed, some succeeded, but they moved. He stayed still, not because he was lazy, but because he was afraid of discovering his real potential. Fear is strange. It does not scream. It whispers. It tells you to be realistic. It tells you to wait for the right time. It tells you to stay comfortable. He believed that voice for years. He believed when it said, "You are not ready yet. You need more time. Others are better than you." So he waited. One day turned into many. Dreams turned into memories, and memories turned into regret. Until one night changed everything. It was quiet. No phone notifications. No distractions. Just him and his thoughts. For the first time, he did not run from the silence. He asked himself a question he had avoided his whole life. What if the problem was not the world? What if the problem was me? That question hurt, but it was honest. He realized something painful. Nobody had ruined his life. Nobody had stolen his chances. He had been hiding from responsibility. That night he did not feel motivated. He felt exposed. Motivation comes and goes. Truth stays. That waiting for motivation was another excuse. Real change starts with discipline. The next morning he woke up early, not because he felt good, but because he decided to act anyway. He made his bed. He drank water. He sat in silence for 5 minutes. Small actions, but powerful, because for the first time, he was in control. His mind fought back. It told him this will not last. You will quit like always. He smiled, not because the voice disappeared, but because he stopped obeying it. Discipline is not punishment. It is self-respect. That day he worked even when he felt tired. That day he learned even when it felt boring. That day he showed up even when nobody was watching. No applause, no instant results, but something changed inside him. He stopped seeing himself as a victim. He started seeing himself as a student. Failure was no longer proof of weakness. It was feedback. Each day he improved 1%. Some days he failed, but he did not quit. Consistency replaced motivation. Weeks later people noticed, not because he talked, but because his energy changed. Confidence is silent. Insecurity is loud. He was not perfect, but he was progressing. And progress is addictive. He learned that comfort is expensive. It costs dreams cheaper. It costs effort. He chose pain, not the destructive kind, but the disciplined kind, the kind that builds character. For the first time in his life, he trusted himself, and that trust changed everything. It did not make life easier. It made life clearer, and clarity can be uncomfortable. As he became disciplined, he also became aware of how much time he had wasted, aware of how many excuses he had believed. This awareness hurt more than laziness ever did. Some nights he questioned himself. Why did I not start earlier? Why did I let fear control me for so long? Regret tried to pull him back, but he learned an important lesson. You cannot change the past, but you can decide who controls the future. The real battle was not outside. It was inside his head. Every day two voices spoke to him. One voice said, "Don't rest. You deserve a break. You are doing enough." The other voice said, "Keep going. Stay focused. Do not negotiate with comfort." At first the lazy voice was louder because it had years of power. But discipline is built through repetition. Each time he chose effort over ease, the strong voice grew. He realized something dangerous. Motivation was unreliable. Some days he felt unstoppable. Some days he felt empty. If he depended on feelings, he would fail. He built systems. Same wake-up time, same work hours, same daily rules. No emotions involved. He treated his goals like a job, not like a mood. People around him did not understand. They said, "Why are you working so hard? Life is short. Enjoy a little." He smiled politely. They did not see the nights of regret. They did not feel the fear of becoming average. Average scared him more than failure. Failure teaches. Average traps. There were days when progress felt invisible. No rewards, no praise, no results, just effort. Those were the most important days, because quitting is easy when nothing is working. Discipline is tested in silence. He remembered a simple rule: never quit on a bad day. So he rested when needed, but he never gave up. Slowly his confidence became internal. It was no longer dependent on validation. He stopped checking who was ahead. He stopped comparing journeys. Comparison steals focus. He understood that everyone has a different timeline. Some people rise fast and fall faster. Others rise slowly and stay strong. He chose strength. The more disciplined he became, the less he explained himself. Speak. He started saying no. No to distractions. No to meaningless conversations. No to habits that drained him. Saying no felt uncomfortable at first, but peace always does. He learned that boundaries are not rude. They are necessary. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. As days turned into months, his identity changed. He was no longer trying to become disciplined. He was disciplined. Identity is powerful. You act according to who you believe you are. He stopped seeing himself as someone who quits, so quitting stopped being an option. But the journey tested him again. One unexpected failure hit him hard. Something he worked months for collapsed. Not slowly. Suddenly, old thoughts returned. What if this is proof you are not good enough? What if this was all luck? Pain knocked loudly, but he did not run. He sat with it, analyzed it, learned from it that failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of it. The difference now was simple. He trusted himself to recover. Confidence is not believing you will never fail. It is knowing you will survive failure. That belief kept him standing. He adjusted his strategy, improved his skills, and moved forward again. No drama, no self-pity, just action. At some point he noticed something strange. He no longer needed motivation videos. He no longer waited for inspiration. His discipline became his motivation. Action created confidence. Confidence created momentum. Momentum changed his life. People started asking him questions. How do you stay consistent? How do you stay focused? He gave a simple answer. I stopped lying to myself. Most people fail not because life is hard, but because they negotiate with their own potential. He refused to negotiate. He accepted that growth requires sacrifice. Comfort today or pride tomorrow. He chose pride, not the ego kind, but the quiet pride of keeping promises to himself. That pride healed something deep inside him. For the first time, he respected himself, and self-respect is unstoppable.